जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद।
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 जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद।
जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद।
जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद।
जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद।
जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद।
जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद।
श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय।
जय
श्रील कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी की जय।
जय
श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय
सामवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय।
जय।
ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to today's Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita reading. We are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 17, the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya in his youth, and we are reading about the final pastime, one of the final pastimes of Mahaprabhu in Grihastha ashram. So, yesterday we saw another important point about from the perspective of bowing down before the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But Srila Prabhupada is bringing out a significant point that even if you bow down before a Vaishnava sannyasi, then Srila Prabhupada went on to explain who is a Vaishnava sannyasi. He is a regulated Brahmana. He is trained as a Brahmana, initiated as a Brahmana, and then he lives according to that standards, and then he is offered sannyas. So such a Brahmana sannyasi, Vaishnava sannyasi, and what is his duty? He is traveling all over the world preaching the message of Krishna. If you bow down, offer obeisances to such a Vaishnava, such a sannyasi, what is the result? So there it is said that your offenses, all your offenses will be minimized. When your offenses are minimized, then you are able to take to bhakti, you are able to accept bhakti. But as long as you have offenses, even though you come in the association of devotees, even though you are hearing the holy name and you are hearing Krishna Katha, nothing is touching your heart. It's not touching your heart. Why? Because of the offenses. But by offering obeisances like this to Vaishnava sannyasis, your offenses are minimized. And then when the offenses are minimized, and then when you hear Krishna Katha, then when you chant Hare Krishna in the association of devotees, then bhakti will sprout and will grow. So that we discussed yesterday. As it is said, okay, we have the last part. As it is said, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabhu Noy Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Koraya Uday. So that means this Krishna Prema is not achieved by some sadhana. Krishna Prema is there uh, in the heart of all living entities. Being parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord, it is the natural position of the living entity to love Krishna. So that love of Krishna can be awakened when the heart is purified. And the heart is purified by offering obeisances to sannyasis, especially Vaishnava sannyasis. The more we offer obeisances, the more our hearts become purified. And in purified heart, the natural love for Krishna that will be awakened. Only in the purified heart can Krishna Prema be awakened. So this is the Krishna consciousness movement. Srila Prabhupada is saying, what is it? Purifying the heart and then awakening love of Krishna. So therefore Srila Prabhupada said, no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex. What is all this? This is bringing us to the human platform and then training us how to offer obeisances to the deities, how to offer obeisances to the Vaishnavas, then chant Hare Krishna, render service, uh, hear Bhagavad Gita Bhagavatam. This is our Krishna consciousness. So continuation. So what is Mahaprabhu contemplating? Mahaprabhu is thinking these people will never chant. They will never take to bhakti. Why? Because they have offense in their heart. They are criticizing Mahaprabhu. So because of this offense, they'll never be able to take to bhakti. Then I'll somehow or other, my purpose of coming to this world is to deliver everyone, all fallen souls. How will I deliver them? First, I have to minimize their offense. For that, I have to induce them to bow down before me. I will take sannyas. When I take sannyas, naturally they will bow down in front of sannyasis. And when they bow down like this in front of a Vaishnava sannyasi, all their offenses will be minimized. And then when the offenses are minimized, then when I tell them to chant Hare Krishna, they will take to bhakti. And in this way, they will be delivered. This is Mahaprabhu's plan. So let's see. ए सबा पाषंडी तबे हुईबे निस्तार आर कोन उपाय नाही ए युक्ति सार. All the unfaithful rogues of this world can be delivered by this process. There is no alternative. This is the essence of the argument. So what did Mahaprabhu say? Mahaprabhu said that these scientists, philosophers, they are very educated, very learned in the Vedas, but they are rogues. What is the quality of their heart? They are rogues. Why? They are offensive to the Supreme Lord. They blaspheme the Supreme Lord. But Mahaprabhu wants to deliver them. So Mahaprabhu is thinking in his heart, the only way to deliver them is to somehow or other induce them to offer obeisances to Vaishnava sannyasis. And here particularly to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Somehow to offer obeisances. By doing this, then their hearts will be purified and only then will they take to bhakti. Otherwise, there is no way that these rogues can take to bhakti. This is Mahaprabhu's yukti, right? His plan. This is the essence of the argument. Yukti is argument. So, all the unfaithful rogues of this world can be delivered by this process of offering obeisances. There is no alternative. This is the essence of the argument. So now for that sake, what is Mahaprabhu going to do? Ei dridha yukti kori Prabhu ache ghare Keshava Bharati Aila Nadiya Nagare. After coming to this firm conclusion, what was the conclusion? I must take sannyas. When I take sannyas, they will bow down before me. And when they bow down before me, only then they can take to bhakti. They can be delivered. With this firm conclusion, Mahaprabhu continued to stay at home. He is at home now as Grihastha. He continued, but he already made up in his mind that he has to take sannyas. And with this conclusion, with this decision, he is waiting, continuing to stay at the home, waiting for the right opportunity to execute his plan. In the meantime, Keshav Bharati came to the town of Nadia. Keshav Bharati is a sannyasi. प्रभु तारे नमस्करी कोइल निमंत्रण Bhiksha koraiya tare koila nivedana. The Lord offered him respectful obeisances and invited him to his house. So, whenever there is a sadhu visiting your town, visiting your village, you invite them to come to your house. Please take some prasadam, accept our hospitality. This is the culture. So, Mahaprabhu invited Keshav Bharati to his house and he had a request. He invited him to his house, full obeisances, invited him to his house to feed prasadam. After feeding him sumptuously, he submitted to him his petition. Right after serving, tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. You have to render service. You have to submit yourself if it's a guru, and then you have to inquire whatever inquiry you have. So Mahaprabhu, he is a supreme personality of Godhead. He doesn't need to submit himself in front of. He is the Adi Guru. He is the Guru of all gurus. But still, to set example, Mahaprabhu also invited Keshav Bharati Maharaj, fed him nice, sumptuously. He fed him prasadam, and then he put forward his petition. He submitted his petition. What was that? Purport: according to the system of Vedic society, whenever an unknown sannyasi comes to a village or town, someone must invite him to take prasadam in his home. Sannyasis generally take prasadam in the house of a Brahmana because the Brahmana worships the Lord Narayan Shila or Shaligram Shila, and therefore there is prasadam that the sannyasi may take because they are worshipping the Supreme Lord, and that Supreme Lord you offer bhoga to the Lord, so sannyasi can get prasadam in a Brahmana's home because Brahmanas generally worship Lord Narayan. Keshav Bharati accepted the invitation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thus, the Lord had a good opportunity to explain his desire to take sannyas from him. This is the whole thing. He invited Keshav Bharati Maharaj and then he asked him, can you give me sannyas? So he got an opportunity. So Srila Prabhupada is making the point here that Mahaprabhu is a Brahmana and sannyasis accept invitation from Brahmana's home. So Keshav Bharati came to Mahaprabhu's home, and Mahaprabhu in this way got an opportunity to express his desire to take sannyas from Keshav Bharati. Okay. Another point is when an unknown sannyasi comes to a village or town, someone or other grihastha must invite this sannyasi to his house to take prasadam. That's another principle. It's not that you have to know the person. If he's a sannyasi, you can just go up to him, introduce yourself, and say, Maharaj, can you please come to our house for prasadam? Someone must, Prabhupada is saying, someone must invite him to take prasadam in his home. And of course, if you are a Brahmana, that's the best. Devotees, they all follow the standard of Brahmana, so you can invite. But normally in a Vedic society, Brahmanas, they live by that standard. Next. Tumita Ishvara Bhatta Sakshat Narayana Kripa Kori Koro Mora Samsara Mochana. Since you are directly Narayan, therefore please be merciful unto me. Deliver me from this material bondage. Remember, we were discussing yesterday about the sannyasis from the Shankara Sampradaya. They are given sannyas. Shankara Sampradaya gives sannyas only to those who are born as Brahmanas. They don't give to those who are trained as Brahmanas. But Vaishnavas give sannyas even to those who are trained as Brahmanas. But in the Shankar Sampradaya, they give sannyas only to those who are born as Brahmanas. And also we discussed how, because of the teachings of Lord Buddha in the society had rejected the Vedas. So once again, to reintroduce and establish the Vedas as the guiding light for all humanity, Shankaracharya had uh, he had introduced his philosophy, the Advaita philosophy. So that was very prevalent in the society at that time. Sannyasi means they were all Shankara from the Shankara Sampradaya. And what is Shankara Sampradaya sannyasi? They are Ekadandi sannyasi. Ekadanda sannyasi means I am him, right? Uh, that means absolute truth is one. We are all one. Ekadanda sannyasi. So this Keshavarti Maharaj happened to be from the Shankara Sampradaya sannyasi. So Ekadanda sannyas means they address each other as Narayana. You are Narayana, I am Narayana. Right? Now you have become a sannyasi. That means you have become your Narayana. That means you have realized, your Brahman realized. And Brahman realization means I am Brahman. We are all Brahman. So you are Narayan. They address each other as Narayan. Now Mahaprabhu is telling Keshav Bharati, Namo Narayana. You are Sakshat Narayan. She's saying, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, Sir, you are directly Narayan. Therefore, please be merciful unto me. Deliver me from this material bondage. Also, the Jnana, their path of deliverance is Jnana Marga. The Shankar Sampradaya means Advaita philosophy. Their, their path is Jnana Marga. So, in Jnana Marga, sannyas is essential. If you want to be delivered from material bondage, you have to take sannyas. There is no other way. After and until you are qualified to take sannyas, yes, you have to continue to work in this world without attachment, do Nishkama Karma Yoga. And after doing Nishkama Karma Yoga like this, when your heart is purified, when you get Antahakarana Shuddhi, what does Antahakarana Shuddhi mean? Antahakarana Shuddhi means now your heart is unmoved by attachment, by aversion. You're not moved by any emotions. That's called Antakarana Shuddhi. There's no attraction to this world or there's no aversion like that. How they come to this stage? By practice. By practice. What type of practice? By knowledge. What knowledge? I am not this body. I am Atma. Atma does not need food. Atma does not need sense gratification. All that is for the body. Atma is spiritual, right? The second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. All those verses. I am spirit soul. I am not this body. That type of meditation. And by that type of meditation, because you haven't gotten that freedom from attachment yet, you must work in this world. But you have to give up all the results of your work. This is called Nishkama Karma Yoga. They have to practice Nishkama Karma. But when can you actually enter into Jnana Marga? Only when you get this Antakarana Shuddhi, you give up this world, you accept sannyas, then only. So for them, the only way of deliverance is sannyas. Therefore, when you take sannyas, that means you have already achieved Antakarana Shuddhi. So they think he is Narayan, he has realized that he is not this body, he is Atma. Namo Narayana. You are a sannyasi means very exalted position. Like that. But in bhakti, do we need to take sannyas in order to get deliverance? No. All you need in bhakti is Shraddha. What Shraddha? Shraddha that my eternal position is I am a servant of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is only Krishna, and being His servant, being part and parcel, my only duty in this world is to render devotional service to Him. I don't have any other duty. I am not a father, I am not a mother, I am not a daughter, I am not a wife, I am not Indian, I am not American. I am a servant of the servant of the servant of the master of the gopis. This is my only identity, this is my only duty. When someone gets full Shraddha in this, conviction in this, then he is eligible to enter into Shuddha Bhakti. Then he can do Shuddha Bhakti. You simply have to have faith, and then you will endeavor for that at every moment. Even though you may be doing, like we see in Ambarish Maharaj's case, he is a king, he is ruling, but his consciousness is, I am a servant of the Supreme Lord. Everything else that I am doing as His servant, as a service to Him. I don't need all that. I simply need to render devotional service to my Lord. Like that. So here, Mahaprabhu is addressing Keshav Bharati Maharaj as Narayana. Yeah, you are Narayan. So please deliver me from this material bondage. That means please award me sannyas. Because remember I said when you take sannyas, that's when you're actually, you know, advancing, becoming free from this material bondage. So Mahaprabhu is telling Keshav Bharati, please, you are Narayan himself, deliver me from this material bondage. Bharati kohe na tumi Ishwara antaryami, je karaha se koribo swatantra nahi ami. Now who is Keshav Bharati? Yes, he's taken sannyas from uh, uh, Shankara Sampradaya, no doubt, but he's very exalted. He could see the person standing in front of me is the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. He is no ordinary Grihastha Brahmana, right? Keshav has come to the home of Mahaprabhu to take prasadam, but he could see this is not an ordinary person, this is Swayam Bhagavan, he is the Supreme Personality of God. So when Mahaprabhu said to Keshav Bharati, you are Narayan, please deliver me from this material bondage. What is Keshav Bharati saying? Let's read the translation. Keshav Bharati replied to the Lord, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Super Soul. I must do whatever you cause me to do. I am not independent of you. He's saying, you are the Supreme Lord. You are Paramatma in the heart. However, Paramatma dictates, that's how we act. So I will have to do whatever you tell me to do. That means you are asking me to give you sannyas. Well, you are the Supreme Lord. If you order me to do, then I have to carry out your order. Not because I am, Narayan and I am going to award you sannyas. You are the Supreme Lord. You are Paramatma. The way you dictate, that's how I must act. Like Keshav Bharati Maharaj said. Bharati kohe na tumi Ishwara antaryami, je karaho se koribo swatantra nahi ami. I am not independent of you. I cannot act independently. I'll have to act in cooperation with you. Eta boli Bharati Gosai katoyate কাটইয়াতে গেলা Mahaprabhu তাহা যাই sannyasa korila. So after saying this, Keshav Bharati, the spiritual master, went back to his village Katwa. So he was visiting Nadia, Navadvip, where Mahaprabhu is residing. But actually his place of residence was Katwa, nearby place. So after saying this to Mahaprabhu, that you are Antaryami, you are Paramatma, I cannot act independent of you. So I have to do whatever you desire. Saying like this, he went back to his village, Katwa. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went there and accepted the renounced order of life sannyas. Again, so this Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, the first Adi Leela, the Leela of Mahaprabhu in his Grihastha Ashram, is given in a very concise way, almost in sutras, like in one line, the whole pastime is said in one line. But when you go to Chaitanya Bhagavat, the whole description of the pastime you'll find. Because it's already, that was written before. Because that was already written, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami does not repeat. He doesn't want to take the credit away from Vrindavan Das Thakur. So therefore, whatever is elaborately described already by Vrindavan Das Thakur, he says, time and again he says, please go and refer to Vrindavan Das Thakur's Chaitanya Bhagavat for this pastime. Those things which Vrindavan Das Thakur did not elaborate upon, the philosophical points, even within one pastime, if some points are not explained by Vrindavan Das Thakur, those things Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami will pick and he will elaborate for us. So that way we should read both Chaitanya Bhagavat and Chaitanya Charitamrita. We'll get the complete picture. So here also about sannyas, in one line it is said that yes, Keshav Bharati came to his house and then he went back to his village, and Mahaprabhu went to the village of Keshav Bharati and accepted sannyas. How that sannyas happened, my God, there's so much story behind that. Before taking sannyas, how Mahaprabhu was taking permission from each of his principal associates. He was not just going to go and take sannyas. He would beg Nityananda Prabhu, Sachimata, Vishnupriya Devi, he would go and ask each of his close associates, please give me permission to take sannyas. And until they gave permission, he would not take. And they also, and he explained to them why, you know, he's going to take sannyas. And he got permission from them. Finally, he went. And then each time it's so heart wrenching. Uh, when he explains, it's like they were losing their life. He's not going. Until now, we are reading how day and night they are with Mahaprabhu. Just recently, we saw Srivas Thakur. Srivas Thakur's son died, but that didn't give him any unhappiness. His only unhappiness was Mahaprabhu's ecstasy should not be disturbed. Hearing that my son died in this house, nobody should cry. For 7.5 hours, he was dancing joyfully in ecstasy in Mahaprabhu's kirtan, so that Mahaprabhu's ecstasy will not be disturbed. Such is the love of the devotees for Mahaprabhu. Day and night they would stay with Mahaprabhu. And now Mahaprabhu would take sannyas. What does sannyas mean? In those days, it's not like today. Sannyas means it's social suicide. Once a person takes sannyas, you never see him again in your life. You don't even hear about him. He just takes whichever path, he just walks and nobody knows where he's going. His name is changed. You never see him. There's no question of the sannyasi coming back home to visit his family members. No. So then what will happen to all the devotees here in Navadvip when Mahaprabhu takes sannyas? They'll never see him and now they don't stay with him without him for a moment. Can you imagine? And he's asking them permission. And he's saying, I have come here to deliver all these people. If I don't take sannyas, they are not going to, they will all go to hell. How can we stand and watch? How can we be selfish that we will just come together, we devotees will have fun, let the rest of the world go to hell? How can we think like that? My whole purpose of coming to this world is to deliver everyone. They are not taking to Krishna consciousness. What could they say? They were like completely helpless. And they said, my Lord, whatever you want to do, you will do. You are asking us, but you've already made up your mind. You're going to do what you're going to do. Sachi Mata, she became like a stone. Literally, she became like a petrified, in shock. The only movement in her whole body was tears were rolling down her eyes. Other than that, there was no movement. She was just standing like a stone. Mahaprabhu circumambulated her and left. She was sitting at the door of the house, knowing that. And when did Mahaprabhu leave? In the middle of the night. So she knew, she heard this. All night long, she was just sitting there at the door, knowing that he's going to leave. And Mahaprabhu circumambulated her and left. And the night before, Sridhar Kola, these devotees didn't even know. It's not like he announced in the whole village, no. Some devotees, very confidential devotees, and they were supposed to go with Mahaprabhu for his sannyas also, like Nityananda Prabhu, Mukunda, Chandrasekhar. They went, but other devotees, they didn't even know. Kolavecha Sridhar brought, Kolavecha Sridhar, very poor. So on his thatched roof, this pumpkin had grown. So he just brought it to Mahaprabhu that night because he didn't have anything else. He just brought it for Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu was thinking, this is the last time I'm seeing. Uh, and then tomorrow I won't be Nimai Pandit anymore. I'll be a sannyasi. My devotee has brought with such love. So he told Sachimata, please cook kheer, pumpkin, uh, kheer with this rich curd. That was the last thing Mahaprabhu ate before leaving home and taking sannyas. So like this, many, many exchanges of Mahaprabhu's with his devotees, loving exchanges. And then Mahaprabhu, the six opulences of Bhagavan, Aishwaryasya, Viryasya, Yashasa, Shriya, and Jnana, Vairagya. Vairagya also, the Lord's Vairagya is uncomparable to anyone else's Vairagya. Such loving devotees, such loving mother, dependent. She's a widow. She has no one except her son. a young wife, only 14 years old. They don't have any male member in the family to take care of them. But when he left them, he just left them. All the devotees, all the loving devotees, his village, without turning back. People were fainting and falling down. Although his heart is so soft, but when he renounced it, he just renounced it, didn't even turn back. Later also we will see several times. Renunciation, Mahaprabhu's renunciation is the pinnacle. Nobody can cross him in renunciation. So like this, Mahaprabhu went to Katwa, and after going to Katwa, that's whole another story. He had such beautiful hair. His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj gave a class just on the hair of Mahaprabhu. We had a parikrama, Navadvip parikrama, and in Navadvip parikrama, we went to that place where Mahaprabhu's hair was cut, Katwa. So there, the whole class was about the hair of Mahaprabhu, how beautiful his hair is, and how the devotees couldn't bear to see that haircut. Like they stopped the barber, they didn't allow the barber to cut the hair, and the barber couldn't cut. His hand was shaking, he couldn't cut the hair, and Mahaprabhu was, telling him, cut, cut. He couldn't do it. And all the devotees were like threatening, they would kill him if he cut the hair, if he touched the hair of Mahaprabhu. How, how will the ceremony go forward? How will the sannyas ceremony be completed? So then Mahaprabhu all of a sudden started performing kirtan, and he told everyone, chant and dance. And everyone went into ecstasy in that kirtan. Taking advantage of that moment, Mahaprabhu told the barber, quickly cut the hair now. The barber was crying, his hands were shaking, but Mahaprabhu, cut the hair now. Just like I'm just remembering Lord Ramchandra, when he was leaving Ayodhya, all the citizens were running after the chariot. They stopped Sumant to, they said, you cannot drive Mahaprabhu, you cannot take Lord Ramchandra away from Ayodhya, stop. And he couldn't drive further. His father, Dashrath Maharaj, was running behind him, stop, stop, don't go, and he was falling down. Lord Ramchandra couldn't see the pain of his father and of all the citizens. So he said, just speed up and go. He was very strict, and then the chariot driver had to go. So like that, this barber didn't want to cut. He was crying, weeping. He was not getting the hand to cut the hair of Mahaprabhu. But Mahaprabhu ordered, cut it now. And then he started cutting. And after he shaved the head of Mahaprabhu, he took a vow never again to touch another man's hair. He gave up the profession of a barber. That was too intense of an experience. He could never ever cut another person's hair after that. He gave up his profession. This is a Vedic society, mind you. You start your entire life, you live by the same varna. There's no question of changing your duties and jobs. But he never ever cut another person's hair after that. So anyway, like this. So the details are there in Chaitanya Bhagavat. I just gave you a small gist of some points. But here we read in one line that Keshav Bharati went back to his village. Mahaprabhu went there and he accepted the renounced order of life sannyas. Purport. At the end of his 24th year, at the end of the fortnight of the waxing moon. So when did this happen? Makar Sankranti, the night of Makar Sankranti. That's the night when Mahaprabhu left home. At the end of his 24th year, Mahaprabhu stayed in this world for 48 years. For 24 years, he was in Grihastha Ashram, and 24 years, he was in the Sannyas Ashram. So at the end of his 24th year, so his birthday is Gaur Purnima, which comes in March. So he left Makar Sankranti, about 1.5 months before his 25th year began. So at the end of his 24th year, at the end of the fortnight of the waxing moon, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left Navadvip and crossed the river Ganges at a place known as Nidayara Ghata. Then he reached Kantakanagar or Katoya, Katwa, where he accepted Ekadanda Sannyas according to the Shankarite system. Since Keshav Bharati belonged to the Shankarite sect, he could not initiate Chaitanya Mahaprabhu into the Vaishnava Sannyas order, whose members carried the Tridanda. Chandrasekhar Acharya assisted in the routine ceremonial work of the Lord's acceptance of sannyas. By the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Kirtan was performed for the entire day, and at the end of the day, that's how long it took. Mahaprabhu left early in the morning, like it was still dark, right? The night he left. And after he reached there, all day long they didn't allow him to cut the hair. So one full day he did Kirtan. And at the end of that day, the Lord shaved off his hair. On the next day, he became a regular sannyasi with one rod, Ekadanda. From that day on, his name was Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Before that, he was known as Nimai Pandit. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the sannyas order, travelled all over Radha Desh, the region where the Ganges river cannot be seen. Keshav Bharati accompanied him for some distance. So again, these details we read in Chaitanya Bhagavat, how after taking sannyas, Mahaprabhu travelled in Radha Desh along with some associates. He actually wanted to go to Vrindavan, but he was tricked into going to Shantipur, and then how Sachimata requested him not to go to Vrindavan because Vrindavan is too far away. So she requested, if you stay in Puri, Puri is non-different from Vrindavan and it's nearby. Devotees are always going to Puri from Navadvip and coming back. I will get to hear some news about you, how you are doing. And that's my only source of living. If I get some news about you, I can sustain this life. So please don't go to Vrindavan. So Mahaprabhu said that, you are my mother. Actually, I should not have taken sannyas because this body doesn't belong to me, it belongs to you. You gave me this body. Somehow, in some madness, right, in rashness, I just took this decision to take sannyas. But now I will do whatever you tell me. You tell me you want me to stay with you at home, I'll just come and stay with you. Sachimata said, no. What, your name will be spoiled after taking sannyas if you come and stay with your mother. So I cannot allow that. But please stay nearby, stay in Puri instead of going to Vrindavan. So Mahaprabhu accepted. That's how instead of going to Vrindavan, he went to Puri. Of course, he always had this yearning to go to Vrindavan. And also he was told by the demigods that we are your servants, but now is not the right time for you to go to Vrindavan. When you get the right opportunity, when the time is right, you will certainly go to Vrindavan, not now. So for the time being, Mahaprabhu postponed his visit to Vrindavan. He goes to Puri. So yeah, there are a lot of details, many chapters about Mahaprabhu's taking sannyas and what happens after that. But now we will be entering into Madhya Leela. There's some more shlokas in this chapter, and then we will enter into Madhya Leela. Madhya Leela is all Mahaprabhu's travels in Jagannath Puri, South India, all that. So that's the big chunk of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela. So we'll read that. I will stop here. Thank you all so much. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, tomorrow will there be any class?
What is happening tomorrow?
Tomorrow is Balaram Jayanti in the evening.
Oh, in the temple, huh? So we can cancel. If you have program at the temple, we can cancel. Okay, so we will not have Chaitanya Charitamrita reading tomorrow. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.